This is Deadly 60 on a mission. My team and I are traveling the world in search of the planet's deadliest animals. I want to find out what makes them so deadly, and that means getting close to them in the wild. Only the most lethal will make my list, and in this series we're going to show you my most extreme animal encounters. And you're coming with me every step of the way. This time on Deadly 60, we're in South Africa. It's a place that's legendary for its wildlife. Yes, the southern tip of the African continent is one of my favourite places to look for deadly animals. Some are deadly in their own world, and some are deadly in ours. Oh, they hurt! And I'll be doing whatever it takes to bring you some extraordinary creatures. I'll even be hopping over the border into Namibia to find Africa's most iconic predator. I have a feeling this is going to be a real adventure. So to get my mission underway, I've come down to the coast to find an animal which strikes fear in the hearts of swimmers around the world. This part of South Africa's Indian Ocean coast is legendary for one kind of animal: sharks. There are more different species and in greater numbers here than just about anywhere else in the world. The only thing is, to get to the sharks, we've got to get out past that. One thing that we always have on our side when we're trying to film sharks is their incredible sense of smell, particularly when they're scenting blood. So what we're going to do is drop that drum full of fish down to the bottom of the sea, and hopefully all the sharks around here are going to scent the blood molecules as they go out into the water and come round and try and find out if there's anything worth feeding on. The sharks I'm looking for are black tips. They normally work together in large groups, so if I find one, I'm likely to find the whole gang. Shark! 1, 2, 5, 6. Suddenly, there are black-tip sharks everywhere. What size are those? This is fantastic! We've been here with bait in the water for no more than about 3 or 4 minutes, and already we are absolutely surrounded with sharks. This is amazing! Whoa! They're very, very quick. Really dynamic hunters. I'm dying to get into the water and see up close what makes them such efficient and lethal predators. Blacktips are not normally a danger to humans, but their attitude totally changes when they go into feeding mode. So I'm going to have to keep my wits about me. The blood from our bait box has already attracted around 30 hungry sharks. As well as blood, these sharks are also attracted to electrical impulses. And that includes the camera and my sound system. I'm trying to cover it up as best I can, but things are starting to get a little bit hairy.
Yeah, that was too close. When they snatch like that in front of your face, it's really scary.
So what makes these sharks so deadly? Well, the blacktip's body shape is like a blueprint for an underwater hunter.
Look at the way the body's designed. Oh, thanks a lot. They're like a torpedo. Sharp nose, slender, sleek lines. So perfect for cutting through the water at speed.
Their skin is covered with denticles, little tooth-like structures which reduce drag when travelling at speed and make them incredibly efficient swimmers. They work together as a team to maneuver thousands of fish into a bait wall. Then dart into the fray, picking off lone fish that get separated from the shoal. The sharks snatch at the fish with rows of razor-sharp teeth, devouring whole shoals in a matter of minutes. Each individual shark is impressive, but together they're unstoppable. Our air's running low, and we've pushed our luck for long enough.
Oh! Look at this! Hey, that scything dorsal fin of a shark is one of the things that frightens people in the world more than anything! There's no way I could go home without putting these animals on the Deadly 60. They're awesome! Look at that!
Blacktip sharks have an extremely sensitive sense of smell. Their bodies are built for speed and flexibility, and they're lethally efficient pack hunters. These sharks have earned a place on my Deadly 60. So we're off to the perfect start with a lethal underwater predator. But back on dry land, it's time to head for the hills. We're driving inland, where I'm hoping to add one of the world's most spectacular airborne predators to my list of deadly African animals. Soaring high above me is the black eagle.
Look at this! He's folding his wings, stooping, coming crashing into land! Wow! That was extraordinary! Keep your face away.
This is Rourke. He was rescued as a very young chick and he's been living for the last 5 years in very good human company. He is an utterly magnificent predator. And if you want to see why, you don't have to look any further than those talons. Look at those. Each one is like a long, curved kitchen knife of a weapon. If I wasn't wearing this thick leather glove, he could actually punch that talon right through my hand and out the other side. Add to these talons the black eagle's binocular vision and a scimitar-like beak, and you have a formidable predator. Key to a black eagle's success as a hunter is its skill in the air, and eagles are known for their phenomenal ability to soar for hours as they search for prey. So, if I'm going to put black eagles on a Deadly 60, I need to get a sense of just how good they are in the air, and that means getting up into their world.
And there he is, look! There he is right there! Just flying under my feet! Just incredible! Okay, now the real trick to this paragliding lark is very much the same thing that the eagle's going to be looking for, and that's thermals. What a thermal is a rising current of warm air, which will especially come up off a dark cloud field, a big area of road. Just that warm air is enough to get you actually heading for the heavens, and that's the weapon the black eagle uses to get high.
We're sharing the skies with a true master, and Rourke is giving us a proper flying lesson. Using every single air current, Rourke was soon way above us.
Where's Rourke? Where's he gone?
With a 2-meter wingspan, black eagles could cover hundreds of miles a day, scouring the mountains for their prey.
Where black eagles hunt, quite often they'll fly right up into the sun, so their prey won't be able to see them coming, and then stoop down with the sun behind them.
And when he's up there, there's no way I can see him. A small mammal doesn't stand a chance. sleeves, the black eagle has the unique ability to hunt in pairs. They spy their quarry from up to a mile high, and then use deception and trickery to outwit it. While one hunter acts as a decoy, distracting the prey, its mate uses every bit of cover it can to sneak round the cliff edge and stoop in for the kill. No other bird of prey works with its mate in this way. Rourke's incredible skill in the air makes flying look effortless. But we are having rather less success, and the flying lesson is about to come to an abrupt end.
You're okay, are you?
Yes. That's what you call a crash landing.
Yes.
Guessing that his landing was a little bit more graceful than ours, and there's no way we're leaving here without putting the Black Eagle on the deadly 60.
The Black Eagle's razor-sharp beak and talons rip its prey to shreds. Its flying ability is awe-inspiring, and it's a cunning, cooperative hunter. Black Eagles are positively deadly. And now my mission to find Southern Africa's deadliest animals is taking me and the crew back on the road. We've had a tip-off about a large group of killers living in a remote beauty spot. With rumours that they've chased down and killed someone in the last week, we've really got to have our wits about us. And apparently there are literally thousands of them.
Most of the creatures we go looking for in the deadly 60 are predators. They're actually deadly when they're hunting other animals to eat. But there are creatures that become dangerous when they're trying to defend themselves, and these next animals definitely fall into that category. There's about 80,000 of them at the bottom of that cliff face. When they attack in hundreds or even thousands. They have a venom that's pretty fierce and easily capable of killing a human. They're African honeybees, sometimes known as killer bees.
These insects are some of the most feared in the world, working together to fend off any would-be attacker with up to 1,000 stings. My aim is to see them up close and get a sense of their deadly power.
They're a lot slower than I normally would, abseiling down here. Fast, sharp actions are much more likely to annoy the bees.
As if 80,000 potential killers wasn't enough to deal with, I had a 50-metre void beneath me.
Hanging off the cliff in a beekeeper suit. This is madness. African honeybees are one of the wonders of nature. The fact that all these tiny insects, each one of them with brains no bigger than a full stop, can all act together to go out, collect honey, build an amazing hive like this. It's just extraordinary. They all work together almost like one giant superorganism.
This cooperation is what makes bees such a threat. When a bee stings, it continuously pumps venom into the skin, causing inflammation, potentially anaphylactic shock, and even death. Each sting also releases an attack pheromone into the air, effectively calling others to join in the attack. And killer bees send 4 times more attackers than European bees, which only adds to their deadly reputation. Unfortunately, while I'm hanging on a rope, I can't control my movements as well as I'd like to.
Okay, so I just slightly knocked the hive there, and in a second, we've got an awful lot more activity. The noise also has intensified massively. It's actually quite intimidating being this close to it. It's a really heavy, droning buzz.
The bees are trying as hard as they can to find a way in. They tend to target the head, and without this suit, I'd already have received hundreds of stings.
The thing that makes African bees more dangerous than honeybees and gives them the reputation of killer bees is not because they're any bigger or because their venom is any stronger than European honeybees. It's just because they're so much more aggressive. They'll sting in much greater numbers, and they'll chase away an attacker for as much as a mile away from their hive. And, well, a couple of hundred stings can easily kill a person. You've got to stay calm, you mustn't thrash around, that's the absolute worst thing to do. Okay, they're now trying to sting me through the suit, really heavily around my head.
Despite my fascination for these insect wonders, I'm now starting to feel a bit intimidated.
Ah! Ow! Oh! One stung me through the veil. Right on the chin! Oh, you forget how much they hurt! I think it's time to head down. When they go on the attack like this all together, it doesn't really matter how fast you can run, you're in big trouble. And that's why African bees are going on the deadly 60.
They attack in large numbers of hundreds or even thousands of individuals. Each sting attracts more attackers, and their venom can cause anaphylactic shock and death. African killer bees definitely deserve a place on my deadly 60. So, South Africa has lived up to expectations with an impressive collection of animals. But my mission to bring you the most deadly animals this part of the world can offer is not over yet. I'm crossing over the border into Namibia. I'll be scouring its stunning deserts for an iconic snake, and the bush for probably the most famous predator in the whole of Africa. But first, that snake. A vast sea of sand dunes runs the length of Namibia, and the snake I'm looking for has a unique way of roaming them.
Down here, that is just perfect. I've got him. Yes! I can see his head. Just down there. And you probably can't even see him, but if I take my snake hook and I follow a line directly down from the end of that, see him? The sidewinder, or Pringwe's adder, is a viper, and it does have a venom that could do me harm, but because it's small, it shouldn't be able to bite through these thick leather gloves. Oh, look at that! What an utterly beautiful little snake. Now, I know he's only tiny, but this is the master of the dunes. Wow, he's striking there and hissing. Might well try and... Oh yes, look at that! Trying to bite into the leather of my glove. Thankfully, it's too tough for him to get his fangs into. Just alongside these chunks of grass, you get a lot of very soft sand accumulating. This is exactly where lizards like to dive, and it's also where this wonderful snake hides and lies in wait for them.
The sidewinder is a highly camouflaged predator. Even its eyeballs are camouflaged, positioned on the top of its head so they poke above the sand while the rest of the body lies hidden. Conserving energy, it can lie motionless in this barren landscape for hours, even days, until the occasional prey comes along. To increase its chances of a meal, it uses its tail to lure its prey close enough to strike with a venomous bite.
Wow. He's got an attitude for a little snake, hasn't he? Whoa! Very, very fast strike as well. I'm going to keep my fingers well away from him because, although he's only little, the venom is sufficiently nasty that it would certainly give me a very bad day. But the thing that makes this snake so special is what left that track over there.
Sidewinding. Its method of moving quickly across burning hot, shifting sands.
We're hopefully about to see one of the most remarkable ways of getting around in the animal kingdom. Look at that! This is such an efficient way of moving across sand. He just throws one coil of the body forward, anchors it, and throws the next one forward. And he's moving across very soft sand here. That is brilliant. Using this method, he can go up the steepest dunes and look at the track he's leaving behind. Hopefully when he gets to some soft sand, he'll bury himself. Here he goes. Just gently worming the body in. Easing himself down into the sand, and then those camouflage colours are going to come into play. Sidewinder on the Deadly 60.
Brilliantly camouflaged, the sidewinding, sand-surfing viper is almost impossible to see. With a scintillating strike and a cocktail of deadly venom, the Sidewinder really rules the dunes. No doubt about it, the Sidewinder is deadly. So that's the snake added to my Deadly 60. But I couldn't come to Africa without putting its ultimate predator, the lion, on my list. Here in Namibia, at the Orindi Game Reserve, there's a team of researchers who study a pride of local lions. And if I'm to have any chance of getting up close to this ultimate top predator, I need all the help I can get. And it's not long before a tip-off leads us right to the heart of the action.
I have a feeling it's hunting time. So they've spotted something. There's a couple of warthog off to our left. And our lions have spotted them. And this is the perfect time for things to start happening. The warthog are just getting closer, they don't realise what they're doing. This one here's moving forward with purpose. It's going to happen right now. One down, over the back there. No, he's got away. He's got away. All just scattered in completely different directions. And one has just met its end in the thicket just over there. That would have to be one of the quickest, most completely perfect hunts I think I've ever seen. And that's certainly not enough to fill them all up. And one of these animals can eat almost half my body weight in one go. Dead in a matter of seconds, eaten in a matter of minutes. That is what makes lions so deadly.
But for the lion to go on my list, I really have to get a closer look at the weapons it has at its disposal. And I might just be in luck. A vet team are here hoping to put a radio collar on one of the young males in the research program. If I'm really lucky, I might just get hands-on with one of the fiercest predators in the world. We're using infrared lights to find the male because it doesn't disrupt their natural behaviour.
Got some very bright eyeshine over there. Ah, look.
And there are more ghostly shapes out in the darkness.
There's 3 more lions just off to the left of us. I'm just going to get closer to see if one of them's our male. One just there. That is very close. That's a lioness. Who's that? He looks like he means business.
But with all of our attention focused in front, we haven't noticed a lioness that's crept round the back of the truck.
She's eyeing us up. She's right behind us.
How close is she?
10 metres, 8 metres. She is way too interested for comfort.
And she's not alone.
This is really freaky. It's almost like those two were stalking us.
With an uncomfortable white light on them, the lionesses slink back into the shadows. So we've got to get on with the job in hand, and fast.
Here we go, gents. Over. Sit still.
The tranquilizer was a direct hit. It's going to take a few minutes for it to work. The male has just fallen asleep, so moving in close to him is going to be very dangerous indeed.
We haven't got long before he wakes up again, and with the other lions stalking the shadows, we have to work fast.
Okay, everyone very, very quiet. This is the first time in my life that I've ever touched a lion. I can feel its breathing and feel its heart beating. You can still see it's still kind of yawning, still a little bit awake. But I've just got to show you the size of those incredible feet. They almost seem to belong to a completely different animal. And look. That is a phenomenal weapon. I'm so nervous doing this even though he's asleep. Those eyes, the lion's eyesight is said to be about 6 times more powerful than ours, and definitely at night is far, far keener, which is what allows them to be so good at hunting at night. I have to say I'm still quite nervous because the other 2 lions are quite nearby. But the last thing I just want to show you is those teeth. That is one of the most extraordinary sets of canines that you'll see anywhere in the animal kingdom.
It's time to let the vet team fit the radio collar, allowing them to keep track of this awesome animal as he leaves his current pride.
So the antidote's in, and it'll probably be an hour or so before he starts to rouse. But we're going to leave him now to wake up in his own good time. But before we go, I think the last thing we have to do is put lions on the deadly 60. What an awe-inspiring creature.
Lions are lethal team players. They use their night vision to hunt in almost total darkness, and use their incredible teeth and claws to bring down their prey. The lion simply has to go on the deadly 60. Getting hands-on with a lion has been the perfect ending to a marvellous mission.
There he is, look!
The sublime southern section of Africa has lived up to all my expectations. From the pack-hunting black-tip sharks to the awesome flying abilities of the black eagle, the lethal aggression of the killer bees, and the feisty sidewinder among Namibia's sand dunes. Join me next time for some more of the Deadly 60.
Meeting the people dedicated to saving our endangered species, nature's miracle babies, next here on BBC One. On BBC Two, Prince Harry joins